Hello and welcome to the quiz, What's Under the Microscope? So we've got two different rounds for this quiz to figure out what is under the microscope. So shall we begin? This first round is which is the, and I'm going to show you some pictures of different things that are magnified, and you're going to have to guess which one is the thing that I ask for. And then at the end we will go through and you can have a look, and I'll be able to tell you what each of those things were. So let's have a look at the first one. So which is the banana? So you've got three pictures here, and what I want to know is which one you think is the banana. Now for these, I think it's best if you maybe label them 1, 2 and 3. And so which one is the banana? Do you think it's number 1, number 2 or number 3? So hopefully you get the idea, and later on when we come to the answers, you'll then be able to, I'll show you which one is the banana, and hopefully you'll be able to remember from 1, 2 or 3. So label each one 1, 2 or 3 and then give me your answer. So for example, if you pick the one in the middle, the purple one there, you'd say that your answer is number 2 for which one is the banana. Okay, there might be some here that you look at the picture and you think, well, I definitely know what that one is, so it is that or it can't be that, and that might be helpful too. So our first question was, which is the banana? Moving on, which one of these is the toothbrush? So which one of these do you think is the toothbrush under the microscope? So which is the toothbrush? Have a look, have a think about what part of the toothbrush it might be. Have a think about what a toothbrush would look like underneath a microscope, and have a guess. Is it 1, 2 or 3? Which is the toothbrush? Moving on to the next question. Which is the blood cell? Which one of these is a blood cell? Is it 1, 2 or 3? I think this is possibly one of the easier ones. Which is the blood cell? So which one of these looks the most like a blood cell? Is it 1, 2 or 3? Next question. Which is the strawberry? Which one of these is a strawberry under a microscope? So which one of these is the strawberry? Is it number 1? Is it number 2 or number 3? And have a think, because it might be a different part of the strawberry than you maybe think it is. So have a really good think about what each one could be and which one do you think is most likely to be the strawberry. So let's have a think. And then moving on. Which one of these is a grape? So which one of these is a grape under the microscope? Which one of these is a grape under the microscope? Is it picture number 1? Is it picture number 2? Or is it picture number 3? So which one of these is a grape under a microscope? Is it picture 1, picture 2 or picture 3? Next question. Which is the lice? And it's at this point that your head will probably start itching, because I've said the word lice, which makes you immediately think that it's head lice and you're having a good little itch. So have a good little scratch and then label which one is the lice. Is it number 1, number 2 or number 3? Which one do you think is the lice? Under a microscope, remember, so these are not actual size. So which one of these do you think is the lice under a microscope? Which one of these pictures is human hair? So which one of these 3 pictures do you think is human hair under a microscope? So very, very close up picture of human hair. Which one of these is it? Have a really good look. Have maybe a think about what you think the others might be, and then have a think about which one you think is most likely to be human hair. Next question. Which is the dental floss? So which is the floss that you use to get between your teeth, to get out all of those little bits in your teeth? Which one is the dental floss? So have a look at all three and have a think. We've seen these pictures before. So one of them is going to be a strawberry. One is the dental floss. So which one do you think the dental floss is? Have a look. Have a guess. Is it picture 1, picture 2, or picture 3 that is the dental floss? Next question. Which is the blueberry? Is it question 1, question 2, picture 1, picture 2, or picture 3? Which is the blueberry? I'm hoping that there is a bit of a clue in the name of the fruit and in the picture. So which is the blueberry? Have a look and a guess. Okay, next pictures. Which is the tomato? So which out of these 3 pictures is the tomato? So have a think about what a tomato is going to look like. Have a think as to what it might look like under a microscope. And can you tell me which one of these you think is the tomato? Oh, interesting. This next question. Which is the human tongue? So which one of these is the human tongue under a microscope? What does your tongue look like under a microscope? What do you think? Which one of these is the human tongue? Probably not a good idea to try and look at your tongue because I just don't think it's going to help you. Which one of these do you think is the human tongue under a microscope? Moving on. Which is the human eyelash? So which one of these is the human eyelash under a microscope? Interesting question. Which is the human eyelash? Which one maybe most looks like the human eyelash out of these 3 pictures? Okay, out of these 4, so you get a choice of 4 now. Which is the needle and thread? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. So number 1 would be the yellow one in the top left corner. Number 2 would be the blue one. Number 3, the purple one. And number 4, the one in the bottom right hand corner. So pick 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which is the needle and thread? Okay, next question. Which is the Velcro? So have a look at these 4 pictures and which one do you think is the Velcro? Which one is that sticky substance that connects together and can be ripped apart, that may be on some of your shoes? Which one of these is Velcro underneath a microscope? Very, very close to some Velcro. Which one is it? Oh, and which one is the broccoli? A lovely, tasty broccoli. Which one of these is the broccoli? Is it number 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which one do we think might be broccoli under a microscope? Have a good look. Which one of these 3 is dust? So which one of these 3 is the dust? Out of these 3 pictures, have you had some dust? Maybe you've got some dust around your house. Maybe there's some in the classroom somewhere. If you have a look at that dust, if you could imagine it under the microscope, what would you see if you were to look at that dust under the microscope? What would you see? So which is the dust? And this next question, which is the grain of salt? So have a look at these 4 pictures and which one of these is the grain of salt? A tiny grain of salt but under the microscope. Which one do you think it is? Okay, moving on to our next round, which is called What is this? So what is this in the picture? There's going to be a picture that has got a zoomed in picture of something. I'll even give you a little clue for these because I'm so very nice and generous to figure out what is in this picture. So first question, what is this? So have a look at this picture, and your clue for this is it's a part of a vegetable. So it is a part of a vegetable. What is this? So have a think. It is part of a vegetable. So have a think of where you may have seen something that looks similar to this. In or on or around a part of a vegetable. What is this? Okay, next question. What is this? And your clue is that the lines are paper thin. What is this? The clue is that the lines are paper thin. I think this one's quite easy. I think the clue gives a lot away there. I think I've been too nice with that clue. So from now on, I'm not going to be as nice with the clues. So what is this? Your next picture. What is this? And your clue is that it comes in a box. It comes in a box. So what do you think it is? It comes in a box. What is this? And the clue is that it comes in a box. So have a think. What do you think this might be that comes in a box? Okay, moving on to the next picture. What is this? And your clue is that it is edible. Your clue is that it is edible. Now, I think this looks like something that is edible and actually is not. So if your immediate thought, I would say for most of you, is probably not what you first think it is. So what is this? And it is edible. And I feel like I'm going to give you this clue. So what I was saying before, it's not chocolate, because I immediately looked at this and thought it maybe looked like a flake, but it is not chocolate. It is edible, but it's not chocolate. So what do you think this could be that's edible, but that isn't chocolate? I think this is a really tricky one, and I'll be really impressed if anyone gets this one correct. What is this? Your clue for this picture is that you can play music with it. So what is this? What can we see in this picture that you can play music with? What do you think it could be? That you can play music with this. What is it? Okay, moving on. Oh, what is this? Nice and bright yellow in this picture, really close up. And your clue is that it is sticky. I don't think it is a stick, although that would be quite amusing. So what is this? It is sticky. What is this? Okay, we are going to move on to our answers. So get ready to have a look at some answers. What we're going to do is we'll go through, for the first section I will show you those pictures, and then what will happen is the picture of the real thing will appear on top of the picture that it was under the microscope. So then you can figure out whether it is 1, 2 or 3 that you wrote down and whether you got your answer correct. So let's have a look, shall we? So this is answers for which is the. So which is the. Which one of these is the banana? So is it number 1, is it number 2, or is it number 3? Which is the banana? Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? It is, of course, number 1, the only one that was very yellow. The bananas were number 1. Well done if you got that one correct. Off to a good start. Next question, which is the toothbrush? So having a look at these 3 pictures, which one of these 3 was the toothbrush? And we can have a look. It is, of course, that end one there, you can see the bristles that are on the toothbrush. Of course, number 3 is the toothbrush. Which is the blood cell? Moving on to the next question. Which is the blood cell? So having a look, which one of these did we think was the blood cell? It was, of course, the middle one. And actually, because blood cells are very small, they look quite similar as to what we think of them as they do under a microscope. So as you can see, they've got a very similar shape and same colour. So those in the middle, the ones that look like the blood cells, were in fact the blood cells. So well done if you got that one correct. Next question, which is the strawberry? Which is the strawberry? So of course it is that middle one there, that red one. And if we go back and have a look, you can see that that yellow part is actually one of the seeds on the strawberry. And you can see the little like tendrils coming off, that kind of the little bits that feel a little bit furry on a strawberry sometimes, don't they? Those little seeds that are coming off of it. So that middle one is the strawberry. So number 2 is the strawberry. I don't know if you got that one. I'm hoping that the colour of the strawberry was quite a big giveaway. Number 3, which is the grape. Which is the grape? Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Of course, it is number 2. So having a look back at that picture again, you can now really clearly, I think, see the skin of the grape. It is obviously a green grape. And the inside up close, it is, of course, the grape is number 2. Which is the lice? So having a look at these 3 pictures, which one is the lice? I'm sure you're all itching your heads again. And in fact, again, because these lice are so small that the picture actually looks exactly like what we would think of lice to look like. Here is the lice. And again, for you under the microscope there. So that is the lice number 3. Well done if you got that one correct. Which one of these is the human hair? So which one of these is the human hair? Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? It is, of course, number 1. That looks most like the human hair, but have a think. If you look at your hair, that is just one strand, and actually that picture looks like it's kind of a split end, or where the hair hasn't been cared for very well, because it's got a really jagged tip at the end of the hair follicle, or of the hair, sorry. So that is number 1, the hair. Which is the dental floss? So the floss, like the thin strips that you then put in between your teeth to get everything out from between your teeth. Which one of these is the dental floss? It is that one on the end there. So if you have a proper look, you've got the dental floss there. It is number 3. Which is the blueberry? Which one is the blueberry? So have a look and a think about which is the blueberry. I'm hoping that we have probably got a good idea of this one, because it is the only one in the picture that was blue. So you can see the skin of the blueberry there, and you can imagine then the insides of the blueberry. That is your blueberry there. Well done for getting that one. Which is the tomato? So having a look now at these 3, we already know that the one on the left is the human hair. So which one is the tomato? Of course, it is that middle one there, the red tomato. Well done. Which is the human tongue? So now that we know that that middle one is a grape and the one on the right is a blueberry, the one on the left has got to be the human tongue. And as we know, the human tongue's got quite a lot of texture on it, which means that you can see some of that texture there. There we go, the human tongue there for you as number 1, that first one. Which one is the human eyelash? So let's have a look. The human eyelash is, of course, number 1 there. Well done for getting that one correct. If you have a proper look, it does look like hair, doesn't it? And at the bottom there is the follicle into the skin. So that is the human eyelash. Moving on to these four pictures here, which is the needle and thread. I'd say this is probably one of the easier questions because I think it actually really does look like a needle and thread. But it's quite interesting to see because obviously when you're trying to put thread through a needle, it often is really difficult because it's so small. So to see it up close is quite interesting. So of course, this bottom one here is your needle and thread. Which is the Velcro. So we already know some of these, so we can hopefully understand and assume which one the Velcro is. Now, what I find really interesting is the Velcro has kind of like a hook and eye system, where on one side of the Velcro there are lots of tiny little bobbles, and on the other side there are lots of tiny little hooks. So when you place them together, the little hooks attach to all of the little bobbles and the little eyes, they call them eyelets, like the little holes, to keep them together. And if you look really closely, the one in the top right, you've got the hooks and you've got the little loops. That means that they can attach, which of course means that number 2 is the Velcro. And well done if you spotted that and understood that that maybe looked a bit like how our Velcro would look. Which is the broccoli. Now, I think this one was a bit tricky because often we don't see broccoli this colour, but there are different types of broccoli that can sometimes be a bit purple. But it is of course not the one in the top right, which is the blueberry. It is of course this bottom left one here, which is the broccoli. So well done if you got that one correct, because I realised that one could be a bit tricky. Now, which is the dust? So we already know that the first one is human hair and the second one is a tomato. So the third one is the dust. And I find this really interesting. It's similar to when you see sand under a microscope, but dust is obviously made up of lots of different things. It's often made up quite a lot of dead skin, which I know is pretty disgusting, but that is mainly what dust is made from, and lots of other particles that are maybe in the air or around you. So actually, when you're looking at dust under a microscope, you're looking at lots and lots and lots of different things all together that make that dust. So actually, I think it looks really pretty, obviously really colourful under the microscope. And I find it really funny that actually when we see it in real life, it's not very nice to look at. So that is number 3, is the dust there. Okay, moving on, which is the grain of salt? And I think this one, once you've then looked at all 4 of those pictures, is pretty clear to work out, as it kind of looks like a big giant grain of salt. So it is number 1 is the grain of salt. So well done if you got that one correct. We are now moving on to the answers for what is this? So what is this? And the clue is that it was part of a vegetable. If we have a look, it is the seeds from a pepper. Of course it is. I'd be very impressed if you got this one correct, because this took me a long time to recognise. So well done if you did. It is, of course, inside a pepper, the seeds inside that pepper. What is this? And the clue was that the lines are paper thin. The lines are paper thin. Of course, it is the pages from a book. Like I said, I think that clue was a bit too easy, as it is the pages from a book, but the lines are paper thin. What is this? It comes in a box. It is, of course, cornflakes. I bet you're kicking yourself if you didn't get that one, because now that you can see it, of course they look like cornflakes. So well done if you got that one correct. What is this? Now, obviously, I said that it was edible, but it was not chocolate. So I gave you a really nice big clue there. Although I do think this is quite tricky. It is cinnamon. So it is cinnamon that sometimes you'd put in maybe hot drinks. Or you can get cinnamon rolls and cinnamon buns as well, which are quite exciting. But actually, cinnamon looks like that. And it is cinnamon. So well done if you got that one correct. I think I might even give you 2 points for that. So if you got that one correct, you can have 2 points for that, because I thought that was really, really tricky. Okay, what is this? Your clue is that you play music with it. What do you think it could be? Of course, when we zoom out, it is a guitar. So it is the top there of a guitar. Well done if you got that one correct. Okay, moving on. What is this? The clue was that it is sticky. I told you it was not a stick. It is honeycomb. Really well done if you got that one correct. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 1 point if you said honey, and I'll give you 2 points if you said honeycomb, because specifically it is honeycomb rather than just honey on its own. But of course that is honey, so I'll give you 1 point if you said honey, and 2 if you said honeycomb. And that is your final question. Well done for getting to the end of this quiz. Maybe when you look around and see certain things, you can have a wonder as to what they would look like under a microscope, because they definitely look a lot different in real life to when you put things under a microscope. Well done for finishing off that quiz. I hope you did well, and I will speak to you all very soon. Goodbye.